Let me get a quick drink of our Dasani water here. You like that, Dom? This is Dasani water, official sponsors of UConn athletics. Be like Nick Saban, put it up here. Our guys are excited to kick it off on Saturday. It's been a really productive off-season. It's been a long off-season. They've worked incredibly hard. As everybody knows, we made a lot of changes with transfers, with freshmen coming in, losing guys. But I just love the way that everybody in this building and everybody in the athletic department responded. The support's been amazing. The focus of our players has been fantastic. Our staff has come together well. And now it's time to, to prove it. It's time that the rubber meets the road and we go out and we compete on Saturdays. So hopefully we can confirm that the decisions we made were good decisions. Hopefully we confirm that the work we've done is good work. And we started this Saturday, so I think we're all excited about that. And I know from their energy the last 2 days, they're excited, but there's also a sense of resolve and focus. Everybody's looking forward. I haven't heard anybody talk about the past, and I think that's a very good characteristic to have as we move into this 2025 season. So just really, I'd say I can't wait for it to get here, but I can wait because we need the work.
Jim, when you first got here, obviously 6-6 the first year, bowl game, and you said at that point, you didn't come here just to be average. You come here just to be 6-6. Last year, obviously, a little better than that. To you, where's the bar now for UConn football?
See, Dom, those are questions I just hate, okay? I have to force myself to stay right here. I know this about myself. If I start to look too far down the line and I lose focus, I'm not smart enough to lose focus, all right? So I need to stay right here. So the bar for me is to go out and play really good football on Saturday, and max out our ability. And how about let's set that as the floor and then build from there. But that's the only answer that I can give you and stay true to what I know is best for me and my focus, which I think, rubs off on this team and this team's focus. We are in really pretty darn good shape considering the physicality of our camp. We had a hard, long, physical 3 weeks before we scaled back the physicality, maybe not the physicality, but the length of our practices. And we are in pretty darn good health coming out of that. It looks like right now Trent is the only one that's, in the depth that won't be available. So if you'd asked me that 2 weeks ago, I'd have been really, really, really worried because we had a lot of guys missing, but everyone's made their way back. They've worked really hard. Our athletic trainers have done a fantastic job. Our doctors have done a great job, but mostly it's the players just putting in the work to get back.
What group were you most pleased with, Jim, today?
Today's practice? Today's practice, Joe? Most just today or through the whole camp?
Right up to today.
Oh, wait, up to today or just today? Right up to today. Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. I can't single one out. I will say that I'm pleased with everyone that touches football. From Dom, who's standing behind you, to Neil, who's standing behind you, to David, to Jess, to everybody, Tyler, everyone that's kind of has had an impact. Mike Burton, everyone that's had an impact on this program and our ability to put together what we believe right now is a really good team and a solid program heading forward. And it takes everybody, and everybody has just joined in, and everybody's played a part, and so that to me is pleasing. Now we have to go out and we have to validate it, which that's our intent.
What does it take to have some consistency, right? We're not sitting here trying to get you to tell us who the starting QB is this time. We get to just kind of go into whether it was this camp and this year, knowing you guys have consistency, which is a luxury for any program.
Well, we do and we don't. We have consistency among the coaching staff. We have some consistency on offense, although we lost 3, of our starting linemen. We have some consistency at tight end and receiver and running back. But defensively, we lost a lot of guys. We've really probably got 8 or 9 new starters. So the consistency of having the staff and the continuity that that brings to your team has been very important for us in this offseason, because we were able to move seamlessly through things that we knew we wanted to do, and it gave us a chance to spend some time researching things that maybe we wanted to add or change. And we had players that had done it, and so it was an easier adjustment for them. For our defensive guys, it's been a little more chaotic. You know, it's like, well, shoot, who's going to play where? And then you factor in the injuries that we've had in camp on defense. So somebody asked me last week, you know, how do I feel about the defense? Or, you know, do I feel good about them, or do I need to wait to see them play on Saturday? And still feel the same way, you know. But very, very hopeful, very hopeful. And you're right, any consistency, any continuity certainly helps going into the future.
What are the keys to not only stacking wins, but stacking seasons and continuing to build this program in the way that you want it to continue to move forward?
Well, really, it's answering Dom's question, you know, which is one day at a time, being the best you can be on that day and keeping your focus on that day. And it's really about stacking days. If you stack days, you stack games. If you stack games, you stack seasons. So, but if you look too far down the road, okay, then you don't see what's right in front of you. And so for us, it's about staying in the moment, maximizing the moment that we're in. And we really do. We preach that over and over and over and over and over again with these guys, you know. And I think they've done a good job of embracing that. You know, we just had a moment out in practice in a 2-minute drill, which was a great learning experience, you know, towards the end of the drill, where the offense had an error and the defense had an error on the same play, and there was not friction. There were, you know, guys were a little concerned, but they were able to get right back to the next play, because the next play was the most important play. And so that's got to be our mindset if we want to continue to have growth.
Where has Joe grown the most at quarterback?
Where has he grown the most? Understanding of our scheme. I think as a leader, I think, you know, his first couple years, just the uncertainty of if he was going to be the guy or not, and then with the injuries, you know, it set him back in terms of just his ability to kind of take the helm and be the type of leader that you want your quarterback to be. You know, Joe's not a loud, demonstrative guy. He's not gonna really cuss guys out, you know, but he is stern. In order to be a good leader, you've got to demonstrate, you know, what the team's about, what the standard is, what the expectations are. You've got to do it all the time, and Joe's doing that. And so I think that, and then, you know, knowing the scheme better gives him more consistency. It makes him a better decision maker. He's got some time now. You know, he's in his 7th year. I think he's working on his doctorate, and you know, he's got some time now that he can really spend on football. And so he's in the offices a lot. He's meeting with Price. He's expanding his knowledge of the game.
Jeff, from the things that you said and the things that you've talked about, you know, continuity, you also a lot of your players that you've coached are still here at, you know, beginning coaching careers. Is the culture here what you want? It sounds like your culture is in place. Is that a fair statement?
It's getting closer, Dom, but with the portal, it's an every year, every day proposition. You know, you've got to address it, you've got to enforce it, you've got to demand it, you got to have guys that take ownership for it every single day in order to build it. It's, you know, it can be really fragile, it can be really strong. And so, you know, we got to protect our culture with the vigilance, and that's in who we bring in, and in terms of their personalities and their goals and their character, their discipline, their internal discipline. And I think we've done a good job of that. I think it's really revealed when things get a little bit sideways, which they inevitably do in a season. And so I feel great about it right now, and I hope that I can tell you after we hit a couple bumps that I feel great about it then. And my feeling, my belief, my gut belief is that I will. We brought in some really good people, and we had some really good people here that had embraced who we want to be culturally.
Jim, thoughts on Central and the Howard kid running back?
Well, he's a really good running back, rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. They've kind of got a 3-headed deal going at running back, 3 really good running backs. You know, I've been very impressed with their defense. I think they were 5th in the country in takeaways last year. They play hard, they play physical, they play through the echo of the whistle. So they're an opportunistic defense. You know, in a game like this where you haven't seen a team for a while, where it's the first game of the season, you know you're going to get some unscouted looks, things that you haven't prepared for. The most important thing you can do is execute and do what you're supposed to do. Follow your rules through situations that are through looks that you have not seen before, and really play with aggression and execute. And so our focus, yeah, we're preparing for CCSU, but the important thing is that we play to our standard.
Donovan Brown is one of the guys who has experience with you in this defense. What do you like about him? What does he bring to the defense?
I like the fact that he's played a lot of football here. He's a 268, 270-pound man who can move quickly and fast. He's smart. He's versatile. He can rush the passer. He can play the run. We've asked him to drop into coverage in this system, and he's done a really nice job of that. He's become very dependable. He's one of those guys, kind of like Joe, that he leads by example. Doesn't say a lot, but he goes out and he demonstrates it. So when you're sitting in here as a defense and you're watching the film, and Coach Brock is standing over here, he's talking about what it's supposed to look like. You can look at Donovan and say that's what it's supposed to look like. I hope that he's able to make a breakthrough this year in terms of his ability to get to the passer and rush the passer. I think having Ben Smiley opposite him will help, because Ben can really get after the passer. He's a good pass rusher. So hopefully, that helps Donovan a little bit develop in that situation, in that aspect.
Is the heart of this defense your defensive back group because there's so much experience there, or have other guys just risen up?
Guys have risen up, like Umar, number 32. He quietly has just become a really good football player. Came from the Bronx. We found him kind of playing football on a playground in high school. Didn't have very much film, but he has some characteristics, some traits that we liked, and he's become a good player. He'll start for us at inside linebacker. Bringing in Taekwon that's really helped. Taekwon, I get him in. I know I get him in Taekwon. He's really helped us. Having Damon back, for his fourth year, that's helped. Malachi, that's helped. Cam Edwards, that helped. So, there's some guys sprinkled in there that help us, feel like we can have success. But really, it's going to be about bringing in the new guys that haven't played here and seeing how they react in a game situation. I don't know if I answered your question there or not, but.
CCSU, obviously a very successful FCS school historically. Just what do you hope Saturday is as a celebration of Connecticut football? What do you hope Connecticut's got a chip on their shoulder across the board, so to have two Connecticut schools?
I tell you what, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to duck your question, but I don't think about that. I think about this football team right here, and that's it. And I think that's the best thing for me to do. Certainly, I'm proud to live in Connecticut and want Connecticut football, whether it's high school, college, Pop Warner, whatever it is, to be celebrated and be recognized. Like it was really cool to see the College World Series or the Little League World Series and see a Connecticut team playing in the U.S. Championship. How cool is that, right? It makes you proud as a person that lives in this state. But in terms of this week, my mind just stays right where it's supposed to stay. That's the best way for us to operate.
Jim, you've done an awful lot with culture and approach and just developing a mindset here, but how important is it to have some talent like Skylar brings to this team and just kind of say beyond what we can do?
It's big. I mean, players win games, right? I mean, the teams with the best players typically win the game. Not always, right? And certainly culture is something that's critical. But you have to have good football players and go out and make plays and understand the game and execute their assignment at a high level and that are consistent and have mental toughness and have self-discipline and all those things. But you got to have talent, So having a guy like Skylar that we know can go make plays, and bringing a guy like Ty Bowman who we know can go make plays, and bringing in Juice Farine, as a tight end H that can go make plays. Our running back room is pretty deep right now. Those guys can make plays. We saw what Mel can do in the open field making plays. So I feel like, there's probably more talent at the skill positions right now than since, in the time that I've been here. But, all that's being said, we have to go out and we have to do it on Saturdays. It can look good and bright and shiny, but if it doesn't produce, if we're not putting them in the right position to utilize what they do best, then we're failing. So that's our objective, is to make sure we give them a chance to go out and showcase their skill sets.
It might be too early to talk about what this team's identity is going to be moving forward, but from what you've seen from all the work they put in this offseason, what are some of the things and words that come to mind about what you've seen from your guys so far?
Well, they care. They care about each other. It's a team. It is, your identity develops as you go through the season. I know what I'd like it to look like. You know, I want us to be a disciplined football team. I want us to be hard-nosed. I want us to have a bulletproof mindset, you know, where nothing affects us. I want to see us play together and support each other. I want to see poise, and I want to see composure in high-pressure situations. I want to see us be able to push through adversity, handle success. You know, just all the coach speak words that everyone around the country would answer that question with.
Does the offseason fly by faster with the portal and everything you have to do right afterward?
It goes fast. Yeah, I mean, it does. It's you know, it's a never-ending cycle with 2 portal periods. And, you know, I was looking at the calendar and just going back and looking at the portal period and what it's going to be next year and how it carries right through Christmas and those things. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things going on now in the off season. You didn't used to have to worry about the portal. It was high school recruiting. So things have changed, and the off-season calendar's changed a little bit. And with some of the proposals that are out there, it might even change more. So we just have to be flexible and adjust as things happen and do the best we can. Which we have a good staff. You know, our staff, they like to work, and you know, they're never looking to get out of work. I can promise you that. It's important to them.
Coach, can you talk about what Mora has been able to show you as one of the key linebackers for you out of camp?
Who?
Mora.
Yeah, I talked about Umar earlier. Yeah, no, so Umar's a kid from the Bronx. Found him, you know, we got some film of him on a playground in the Bronx. It was really kind of hard film, but Sariki went down and saw him and just fit the profile. He's a very serious young man, and came in and he was really good on scout team his first year. Last year got some time on special teams, and this year's kind of assumed a role in our defense as a starting linebacker. And he's, you know, he's a 6'1", 235, 40-pound guy who's really important too. He's smart, he's physical, he's tough. He's kind of stoic, you know. He's really kind of fits the stereotype of what an inside linebacker looks like. So we're excited about him. This will be his first start, his first real, you know, big-time game action. It doesn't seem like it's too big for him. It seems like he's really focused and ready. He's prepared hard all off season. He's prepared really well the first 2 days. So I expect him to go out and play well. All right, thanks. You guys have a great day. Appreciate you coming down.